Hello, everyone. I'm Erica.
And I'm Akilah.
Welcome to HeartsChat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to HeartsChat. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of our new season.
Yes.
Staying strong, putting them up. So what's been going on with you, Akilah?
Well,
since last time?
Since last time, I feel like I need to wrap my entire family in bubble wrap.
Oh.
Because everybody's getting hurt. Like, it's so crazy. Like, my aunt, she's had like some issues with her hand, so that was expected. But my cousin did something to his foot where he has to have surgery. My mom fell at work and might have to have surgery. Like, all these things, and I'm like, yes. I was like, you guys, we are 7 days in now. Like, how like, it was just crazy. Like, it's been so, like, everybody's just getting hurt. So I've been trying to keep up and check in on everybody and make sure everything's okay. And nobody else gets hurt.
Yeah. Well, that sucks for Herbie, I know, to be young and want to be getting around and moving around and to be limited. And when you got to be in school.
Exactly.
That's annoying.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm sorry, when you mentioned your aunt and her hand, I was thinking, how's she going to make all that good food? That's the first thing I thought.
She's it's much better now because she has what ends up happening, she has carpal tunnel on both hands, so she has to have surgery on both hands, but she only had surgery on the one hand so far. But it was over like Christmas break, so she's getting like back in the flow of things with that hand. So she's doing a little bit better than everybody else.
Okay. How did your mom fall at work?
Apparently there was some box in the way. Like, I'm just like, that sounds like me, because how do you, like, I asked her, like, was it not supposed to be there? Like, what happened? And she's like, apparently the box wasn't supposed to where it was supposed to be. And I was like, something needs to be handled.
Yeah, that's strange.
Because, like, she fell and, like, literally, like, her whole, right now, her arm is in like a what is that, splint. So she can't, she has to wait and go through like the job, workman's comp, all that stuff. So she's not too happy.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, I'll be keeping my thoughts, that's for sure.
Thank you.
And I have to call on Nurse Akilah to come down to North Jersey.
It's so funny you say that, because she's like, the one child I have, and I don't want to make fun of my mom, but it's hilarious. She's like, one child I have who'd help me is all the way in South Jersey.
Oh.
And I'm like, they'll help you. It's fine.
Yeah. They better step it up.
Right? Exactly. They live right there. Like, guys.
Come on, guys.
No, but it'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's just now everybody to heal.
Right.
So what about you, Erica? How's everything been going?
Pretty good, I would say. I went to visit Bria, my youngest sister. Went to visit her over the weekend, and we had a good time. Just went to check in. We did some grocery shopping. We did some meal prepping, which I love to meal prep.
Oh, okay.
So, and she seemed excited about it. So she had all her meals together and stuff. We went to one of her favorite stores. She loves to go to Home Goods.
Ooh,
so we just
walked
around. And I get it. Her Home Goods is nice. I was like, oh, wow, look at this. Look at that. I like this. This is so you. You should get that. It's like, why is that me? I'm like, it just looks like you. It's chic. It's elegant. That's what you need.
Okay.
We had lunch. We went to the mall. So we just made a day of it, just kind of relaxing, stress-free kind of weekend. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Then I had to come back home to my place. I had a lot of stuff that I had to get done, before the week was getting started. So, but definitely nice. Enjoyed it.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you got the opportunity.
Yep. So, enough of the light stuff. Well, yours wasn't so light. Those interviews were not so light.
It wasn't so light, but lighter than this.
Yeah, we're going to talk about R. Kelly tonight.
Yes.
Well, there's that Lifetime documentary that's out that, you got to be living under a rock if you haven't at least heard about it. and I believe it's a 4-part series.
I think there's 6 episodes, but they do it over 3 nights. Because I didn't watch it when it aired.
Okay. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I was sitting down and because I had it on. I was like, kind of had it on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat down. I was watching it, and then I was, focused and I was watching it. But it just a lot of it, most of it is just so heavy. It's difficult to watch or to like, okay,
Absolutely.
all right, I've heard enough, I've seen enough. And then I've also seen some commentary online from other people and what they think about it or their opinions. And some of the stuff, if not most of it, I've heard over the years.
Yes.
So it wasn't a surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of surprised. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around, I guess, why other people are so shocked or don't know.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm like now that this is all like really coming out, like we've known this about like there's been rumors for his entire career. Like this is years. So, I think for people, the shocking is just having it all at once, like all at once in your face. Like, it's not like masked by something that's happening or something that he was able to do or things like that. Like this is like raw in your face what people are telling you.
What did you think about the documentary? Because I know you saw the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. It did take me 2 days to watch it. I watched it after it aired, but it wasn't shocking, but I was so honestly disturbed and kind of disgusted by the whole thing. Like absolutely everything. And I got my thoughts on written down what I want to say, but like to really like start it off, it's really like, yes, Kelly, what he did, it's terrible. It really is. But what was most shocking to me is the people around him condoning this. I don't care what anybody in that documentary said, like, how they knew this was bad or no one stopped it. Like, no one stopped it. Like, these girls, like, dealt through all of this stuff and people were bringing the girls to him. Like, people, like, doing all this. Like, there was no one. Well, there was maybe a few people, but like in general, no one was stopping him.
And that's the exact part that was shocking to me because, not taking any blame away from R. Kelly.
Of course.
And what he did, but I just can't believe all these people because when you look at it, you have these people coming out and saying, yeah, I saw this or I heard this, I did that. And you seem, okay, when you're talking to us and telling us, like, your accounts, you seem like you're in your right mind. You seem like kind of has some sense. So I don't understand why you didn't say anything. I mean, there's so many outlets. Number one, there's the National Child Abuse Hotline.
Correct.
That you can call anonymously.
Anonymously.
Yes, every state has child protective services. You can call anonymously. If there is some fear or concern about how that's going to impact you, you could have been anonymous tip, and done something that way. And you have the address, you have the phone number. They come out and investigate and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you just sit back and be quiet?
Exactly. I was talking about this. I was like, throw everybody away.
Right.
Every single person, because everyone has a hand in this. I just like that was my main, like one of the main thing. I was like, do people like really sit down and listen to what they're saying on this documentary? Like you knew and did nothing about it?
I don't know. A lot of times when I think about situations, I'm never quick to judge because I'm always like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. But in this situation, I just can't fathom. I just cannot imagine. And take us apart the fact that my entire career I've worked with kids. Take that away. It doesn't even matter. I just don't have the words. I don't even have the words.
No,
truthfully.
I completely understand. And, one of the other things for me was kind of like R. Kelly's older brother.
Yeah.
And like what he was saying, I was like, and I think that was the other thing. It's like what everybody was saying and like how they were saying it. Like his brother was saying, everyone has a preference. He doesn't see what's wrong with, like, what? What? No, that's not the same thing. Like that's not the same thing as abusing and seeking younger, minor girls.
Yeah, and that just proves the point that, R. Kelly and his brother were abused.
Exactly.
And that's, I guess this is where their mindset is at. It's sick.
I agree.
If you're abused, especially as a child, and you don't get help for that, the adults in your life don't get you help, for that, then it has long-term effects, and that can skew your perception,
Correct.
Of how you view the world and relationships, So I think that's definitely a, symptom of the abuse that he experienced, both of.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And, we're not sitting here, obviously, we're not saying like, all people who are abused when they're younger turn out this way. But however, and there are obviously cases where if there's not treatment that is gotten, or, there's not those positive role models or something, like this stuff happens. And, if R. Kelly would have gotten the treatment when he was younger, he first started in his career, gotten treatment there, this could have turned out differently.
Right. Because I was talking about it with, I can't remember if it was my mom or my sister, but I thought with all these people around, because you hearing of, oh, I walked in and saw this, or I heard that in the other room, or this person told me that. I thought, okay, wouldn't R. Kelly be embarrassed that he was caught or that people saw this?
Yeah.
But there's none of that.
No,
wouldn't you try to hide
none.
this? But there's no trying to hide it. You're telling people and, seeking it out, and people are bringing it to you, and it's like no shame.
Exactly.
Like, there's nothing wrong with this.
It all goes back to kind of what we were saying. Since since his career started, like at the very beginning, everyone was condoning and saying yes, yes, yes. So he didn't think it was wrong, probably. Like back then, he probably didn't think anything of it. There were certain people who were saying like, maybe you shouldn't do that, but no one was actually like, no, this is wrong. Like, do this, do that. Everyone was always behind him, letting him do whatever he wants. So he feels untouchable.
Right. And the part I thought was sad too is when his brother said that he was abused, and he went and told R. Kelly, about it. And he was like, I told him, because that was kind of, he was like, oh, wow. That was the green light for him to go tell like a trusted adult.
Yeah.
But R. Kelly's response wasn't that. So then he was like, okay. And then he didn't say anything. And that's why, we always try to look for like where it started, where was the root, where did this come from, or like where to put the blame. But I always say it really does start in the home.
Correct.
Your family who's in the home, these trusted adults. Sometimes there are environments where you can, be so open and say, hey, you can come to me anytime, and you can stress that to your kids, and they still don't.
Yeah.
But it's so important that at least they have somebody, like, if you can't come to me, hey, there's so-and-so, that you can go to them. Because even, in our field, I've heard about kids that were, touched at school. Something happened, this boy touched them in the bathroom, or, this girl touched me. And, the teacher is made aware, teacher tells the parent, so you just don't know what's going on in other people's homes, and what they're being told, and then what other kids get exposed to. But it really does start at a young age.
I agree.
Know about, good touch and what's an inappropriate touch, and who you should talk to and who you need to let know. And when these conversations are held, making sure that you don't shame the child for asking, or if you catch them, or if they, if you find out something, because that's going to have long-term effects.
And I think that's the other part. Like I feel like there has to be some kind of classes on this for parents too, because, parents ultimately parent how either they don't want to parent like their parents, or whatever they've learned from their parents. So it's kind of like, if you weren't taught any of this, because that's something I always say, we're not always taught like how to communicate. You just say, do this, don't say that, don't do that. Like, we're not really taught a lot of these things that we experience while we're adults, because sometimes we just don't know, or we were never exposed to the appropriate way of doing things.
Right. That's so true.
So, I mean, the other part of this that kind of baffled me was the people who keep denying that this isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and not even like, obviously rumors are rumors, but like R. Kelly has, and even R. Kelly saying like these claims are lies. Like, how many times can the same claim over so many years be a lie? Like, there's no difference in what these claims have been. It wasn't like, oh yeah, R. Kelly robbed this, or okay, oh yeah, this happened, or this. It's the same exact claim since day one. So how can this be lies? Like, how could all of this be lies?
Right. And everybody handles abuse and trauma differently.
Correct.
There's some people who will want to be free and want to talk about it, in terms of kind of freeing themselves from this secret, this guilt, this shame.
Yeah.
Also being a voice for other people, trying to help so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
There's other people that they want to block it out. This didn't happen, so I'm going to deny. It's not real. They don't want to face it, or they're embarrassed or shamed or guilty, and they rather not deal with it. Not everybody's in the same place. So it's not to say that, they're saying it didn't happen, or Kelly's saying it didn't happen, it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's often you hear, perpetrators will say that they're going to harm either the person that they're already abusing and their families. So if you're a child, all your thought is, okay, I don't want anything bad to happen to my family. So this is, I know I have to do this, because you're a child. Like, you're still developing, still learning. Like, when adults tell you things, you usually believe them. So like, there's so many factors in here that I feel like people just aren't, like, not necessarily understanding, just there's some of them that they don't want to see it, and some of them they may not just understand it. So I mean, it's there's a lot.
Right. And I think because there's so much, some people are picking apart certain parts that you want to focus on.
Exactly.
But you can't just, there's not just this and there's that. There is multiple parts to it, because you have R. Kelly, abusing young girls, but you also have him abusing grown women.
Yes.
So there's that too. And then there's people that say, okay, well, you were a grown woman. You knew what was going on. Abuse is abuse.
Correct.
You don't know what he was saying to these people, what the situation was, what they thought it was, because there are people out there that don't believe it.
Yeah.
That it's true. And it could take you to be in that situation to be like, oh, whoops. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what, and the thing that you just said is what something was a common thread through a lot of the survivors and their stories. Like, one of them was like, oh, I was a super fan. I didn't believe a word that was being said about me until I was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a common thread through all of it. And I mean, you're so right. It's just, it's really sad.
Yeah. Well, I am glad that people are speaking out now. And I even I was watching a clip of another TV show, and the woman said that she went out and the club played an R. Kelly song and everybody booed it.
Oh,
and
good.
Played because, like you said, superstars, like R. Kelly, get to a certain status of fame and money, and they're essentially untouchable,
Exactly.
So they think, or their songs still get played when, certain things are going on that it's not right. But it seems that now people are actually taking a stand, even if it's, not playing his music or saying, no, that's not okay.
And I think it's also important to kind of touch on the fact that older men and young girls is such a common theme throughout
Mhm.
um like all like music, acting, like all of that, like the celebrity
Mhm.
world. Like it's like from even like looking at the documentary, like just and them like putting out like different like examples of this over the year, like decades of this.
Mhm.
Like this is so ingrained into our society that it's like often becomes acceptable.
Yeah.
Like we turn a blind eye because this is something that, oh, this is something that just happens. Like,
Yeah, right. One of the commentaries I was watching, she had made a comment like, "Don't you remember back in the day when like maybe you would like go walking down the street and like these older guys would be like, oh look at you,' and you're like, oh like, he thinks I'm cute, blah 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 blah." And then
exactly.
when you're older, you're like, hold on, I was 14, he was 24. What?
That's not okay.
You know? So you're right. It has been going on, for a long time. There's a whole list of celebrities that you can go back to and say they were dating people at a really, really young age, but it's just, I don't know. It's, you have the Me Too
Yes.
that's going on right now. So that's bringing a lot of this to the forefront, whereas it was swept under the rug for so long. So think it just depends on the time and the culture of the day.
That's so
And
true.
today, it's not being tolerated anymore. Because another thing, like right now, it's also, Me Too and Black Lives Matter. And you'll hear a lot of people say, well, this never really came to the forefront because it was Black girls. And nobody is really going to pay attention to that because Black girls are sexualized. So it's
Yeah.
not a thing. Who cares?
I agree with that too. And I think the other part is that even in our own communities, we think like that. If, obviously
Mhm.
for other reasons, but if we are like commending R. Kelly, then why do anything about it? Too. Like there's all these different factors that, and you are so right about what you just said. Like all of it, it's really, oh my God, I just can't, there's no other words I can say. It's just so sad.
Yeah, and it's sad, and it's so crazy how much power a person can have because even
Right?
everybody's talking about Aaliyah, like that's being brought up too,
Yes.
and
Oh,
so much like there's on the one end like, oh no, like, oh, she's such an angel, I can't believe this happened, but then the other end you hear people saying, well, she was fast, she was this young girl around all these grown men,
oh my
so
gosh.
she was
That
mature.
word.
Yeah,
Fast. Like that
yeah,
word.
it's crazy.
Like, why are we blaming the girls? Like, these are adults, adult men. I don't care what a girl is wearing, how young, like, you are a grown man.
Yeah, and all the people that talk about like what they let happen and how it, passed by, like it, you let that, okay, so you let it happen, you didn't say anything, and you went to sleep that night and the next night and the next night.
It's like, and the next night.
At some point, didn't your moral compass say I should probably say something at this point?
And you know what? And I feel like it all comes down to this, and it has to do with, and ultimately in my mind, in terms of like the celebrity world and all of this, it's like things won't change until we stop thinking money is more important than human life. Because all of those people, no matter what is being said, cooperated because they were getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like, they condoned all this they condoned all of what he wanted was because he was the paycheck. He like one even in the documentary, the exec said, "Oh, I don't care if it is on his if it is him on the tape, we can't afford to lose him." Like, are you serious? Like, that's a really deep statement.
It's terrible.
So I mean, it just I feel like until we really start looking at ourselves and about how much money and power is played into this, I don't know. Like, this is gonna be a lot. But I am like, the positive is, like you said, like you have the Me Too movements, you have the Black Lives Matter, you have all of these Times Up, and all of these things, all these movements, kind of just saying like, no, it's enough. Like, this is it.
Exactly. And I really think if people would just look at situations as, what if this was my daughter or my son? What if this was me? Look at it that way and try to think about what you would do. Wouldn't you
Yep.
want someone to help you or your family member or your sister or your brother or your mother in that type of situation?
No, I agree. And it's the other part, a lot of people are getting on the parents, like where were the parents? And yeah, there's a part of that, but then like the last couple segments of it was focused on parents whose daughters are still involved, and kind of documenting their kind of journey with it. And some of these parents were like trying to do their due diligence. It's like, no, you can't be alone with him. Like, but once their daughter turned 18, the one parent, they were like, you can't control that anymore. That's it. So, I mean, yeah, maybe they shouldn't have, you hear the rumors, you maybe shouldn't have messed with R. Kelly in the first place. But if you're a parent, you're like, okay, well, I know R. Kelly can do this. I'm going to be like on my daughter, like white on race, and make sure that I'm at everything. I'm following her and all of that. And it still happens. Like, it's just such a twisted situation.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it. And teenagers can be tough because they have that independence where they can think of, okay, how am I going to get to this destination? Okay, I'll do that. How can I get this money? But they're still children,
Exactly.
so they aren't adult enough to make best decisions.
Correct. Correct. They're not thinking of the consequences. It's a little bit more impulsive than some adults.
Right. And that's not, it's not everybody, but good portion, so, and they can be sneaky and, kids can be sneaky. So
what?
You leave and you sneak out the house or you go to school and then you skip school or whatever, your parent don't have you on a leash.
Exactly.
They do the best that they can to raise you and make you, know right from wrong, hopefully. But, ultimately, it's easy to say that when you're not in a situation, oh, where were you?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to keep your kids on a leash.
What? We deal with that every day. Like, I see it.
Yeah. And you can do everything you can.
Everything.
So, I've seen it, but you just gotta, do your best. It's hard because some of these things that are out of your hands, like you just can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't.
No, not at all. Not at all. But with this, I'm hoping that, the girls involved, and any, survivor is getting kind of the help that they need.
And that the people that are still at his home are brought to their homes, because I know their parents and their loved ones are trying to bring them home.
Yeah.
So I hope that they're able to do that and that we'll see justice.
Exactly. No, I agree with you.
All right, everybody. Well, we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to HeartsChat today, where we speak from the heart. We hope that you enjoyed our show. Catch us every Sunday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel and on our website, which is HeartsChatRadioshow.com. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages at HeartsChat Radio on Instagram and at HeartsChat on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions or topics that you want to hear about, you can email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioshow.com. And for all of your personal relationship questions, please visit my blog from ericasheart.com. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart.